Hey guys, what's up? It's Rygar the Destroyer, and today we're going to be taking a look at something that I have spent just a ridiculous amount of time making, and it is the Halo 4 Assault Rifle. As you can see down here, this yellow stick here, this is a yardstick, so it's pretty much 3 feet long, so it's full size. For anybody who's not in America, it's about 90 centimeters long, so full size. I'll put my hand down here so you can see. Everything is full size on it. And like I said, I spent a ridiculous amount of time on it. I started last year and I just got done like a couple days ago. So let me talk about some of the features that I put on it. Let's see, I've got a flashlight up here. As you can see, it's just an actual flashlight. And it's got a laser pointer as well. I wanted to make sure that when I got this flashlight, it was one that took batteries and had a button on the side here so I didn't have to pull it out of the gun to turn the flashlight on. So I lucked out and I found this one at Walmart of all places, so really happy with that. As far as the rest of the gun goes, there's no other features. You know, the trigger doesn't move or anything, so it's fairly static aside from the flashlight. And I guess I should talk about how I made it. It's, I guess, the base part of the gun. So let me get a better angle here. This main part of the gun here is made from a 2x4, and I had to glue some more wood onto the bottom here. Obviously, because this is the 2x4 here. So it's 2 inches thick, of course, and then this is just some 3 3/4 inch pine that I glued on to 2x4, so it's thicker than the 2x4. And then the top here again is 3 3/4 inch pine glued onto the side of the 2x4. So these two parts here are thicker, as well as this. This is, I don't think this was a specific thickness. That was just what it worked out to be. Again, this is 3 3/4 inch pine on top of a 2x4 there. Really heavy and sturdy. As far as the construction goes, you know, if you drop this, it's probably not going to break or anything. Might break a toe. And I kind of want to talk about, you know, how I made the individual pieces on here. So the top piece here, I cut it out. So I got it all glued together. This is a separate piece that I glued onto the 2x4. I cut it first on the table saw, put the blade at an angle. So you can see here, these are all cut at an angle. And then took it again and I had already cut this angle here. So I ran it on the table saw like this, which, you know, you're probably not supposed to do, but I did anyway. And I had to cut this angle here with a handsaw, and I trimmed this up here, these angles, with a Dremel tool and a hand file. So that's how I got these angles here. As far as this bottom piece here, like I said, it's the 3 3/4 inch pine on the outside of a 2x4. Again, it's a separate piece that I glued on. And these here, all of these are individually made and then glued on. So what I did is I took this piece and I rounded it out before I had put these on here. So I made it round, and then I took it and I used a dado blade and I cut notches horizontally through it like this. And then I took my 2x4 and I cut out these here, and I rounded them out and made them the shape I want and made sure they all fit, and I glued those in. I did have to do some sanding to make them all fit, but I put those in there, and I'll tell you that was really scary because by the time I had got to that stage, I had probably already put maybe 15 hours into this piece, you know, sanding it, you know, getting it to the right shape. I used a router, did the corners of it, so a lot of time went into this piece here. And so that was really scary to do the dado on this here, because it could have gone wrong. As far as the rest of the gun, not nearly as difficult. You know, this, you know, like the trigger, it's just a piece I cut out and glued in there. Magazine, it's just a 2x4 here, and I glued it on there. Some scrap wood I glued on there. I guess I glued some kind of thin scrap pieces on here because I noticed that the detail, you know, it was kind of looking a little bit flat here, so I wanted to add some detail there. And this gun isn't accurate to the game 100%. It's just as good as I could do with the materials I had. As you can see on this side here, I've got the, I don't know, whatever this is called. It's like the lever you pull back. I'm not sure. I don't know a whole lot about what parts on the guns are called, but it is different on this side. I did the safety here, but there's no little lever there. But aside from that, it's pretty much the same. I did do, you know, the barrel is an actual hole, which you'd think that would be easy, but the dowel rod that I was drilling into, it had some really hard, well, I mean, obviously it had the grain, so there were some hard parts and some soft parts, and that meant that the bit would coast off into the softer parts, and it took me a lot of tries to get it where the hole was centered nicely in the end of the barrel. So I've been waiting a long time to make this video. I'm really excited that I got it done finally to show you guys. You know, I think it'll look good on a shelf or whatever, and it's definitely the most complicated thing that I've made to date, so I'm really excited about it. Is there any, let's see if there's anything else I could talk about. Oh, yeah, the paint. Most coats of paint I've ever done on anything, I started out with a clear coat to seal the wood and make sure that the following layers wouldn't soak in. And then I did a coat of silver for the gun, and then another clear coat. And then I did the black, and then another clear coat. So it may not sound like a lot of coats of paint, but if you consider each one of those layers has got 3 or 4 separate, you know, separate coats in there, it works out to be, you know, a really thick paint job, a really nice finish. You know, I had to try a lot of different spray paints to get this kind of brushed, you know, brushed nickel or brushed aluminum finish, because most of them are most silver spray paints come out really chrome, like on the magazine here. That is intentional. I did want that to be a different color, but I didn't want the rest of the gun to be that shiny, so I had to try out a lot of different spray paints. I think that's about it as far as things I have to say about this gun. Really excited to show it off finally. You know, I'm sorry there won't be a tutorial for it. It just took too long. So if you have any comments or questions about it, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll see you later.